Well, it began Friday morning about 7:45, and I was coincidentally going to text you because I just wasn't feeling right. And just a moment later, as I tried to text you, I couldn't move my right arm. Then I couldn't move my right leg. Then I couldn't speak. And my husband was in the living room, and so I was trying to scream for him to get out as much as I could to come to the bedroom. When he came in, he found me paralyzed on my right side, completely paralyzed. But I came out of it in about 3 minutes. I called my doctor, and as I told my husband, he wanted to call 911. He wanted to drive me in right away. I said, don't worry about it. Let me call the doctor. Let me find out what's going on and what I should do. So I called the doctor, and the nurse said that she thought I had a TIA, which is a mini stroke. It's called a transient ischemic attack, and it's one that is not permanent. And so that's the difference. They call them mini strokes. So I had one for about 3 minutes. I actually drove myself to the hospital, got to the ER. As soon as I said I had a mini stroke, they took me in right away to the room. I saw the doctor within minutes. I got the best possible care. I don't think I could have gotten better care anywhere else or at any other hospital other than Sanford, to be quite frank. So as soon as I got there, I had a CAT scan scheduled immediately. I met with the doctor. I had a CAT scan instantly. Then I had an MRI not long after that. Then about 10:45, as I was laying in the emergency room, I felt something. I felt funny. And I tried to move my body again, and I couldn't move my right side. And I was completely paralyzed at that point. And I couldn't...
Completely?
I was completely... My entire right side was completely paralyzed. And I couldn't speak. And when your right side of your face is paralyzed, you can only talk out of the left side of your mouth. And so I was obviously had very slurred speech. And the ER doctor came in right away. I was attended to by several nurses. I had another IV in my other arm instantly. I had oxygen. I had a cardiologist. I had a neurologist who saw the stroke. They didn't want to give me the medicine, the blood thinner that they do for stroke, because since I had one earlier that passed, they thought this was a TIA as well. If they had given me the blood thinner medication, that's quite dangerous because you can bleed out and you can also suffer from profound kidney damage from that medicine. So they waited it out, and then they gave me 4 aspirin. I chewed the 4 aspirin. The stroke, I slowly came out of it after about 10 minutes.
Wow, that long.
10 minutes. It was quite long. And at that point, they rushed me back in for another CAT scan, another MRI, and then I was scheduled for a cerebral angiogram. If you've had heart disease and if you've had an angiogram, and I think you had one of these done, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where they put the dye up your in that artery that's in your groin area.
Yeah.
So they did it. Is this making you uncomfortable?
I'm fine. I think I'm having a stroke.
No, don't. And well, I know the signs, so I can help. But so after that happened, then I went back down. I was admitted to the hospital. I was brought down for the cerebral angiogram, and that found no damage. I also had ultrasounds on my carotid arteries. My carotid arteries are not blocked, and I had no blockage in my brain, and I had no permanent damage at that point.
Yesterday on our IMA Doctor show, the point that was made was that even though these are called minor strokes, there's really no such thing as a minor stroke. These TIAs are indicative of a further serious problem, and that it is very unwise to ignore them.
Exactly.
And because one form of medication or another, or whatever, can be prescribed. Have you been offered any medication?
Oh yes, I unfortunately have all of the genetic
KFGO.
makeup of my father, and my mother as well. My mother's family has had high blood pressure. I had extremely high blood pressure. I was on medication for it. My weight didn't help that. I'm not obese, but I've got a little extra weight that I need to take off now.